Yeah, Google, Apple,
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah. Yes, it's like I love it.
No, I mean, I did get calls for those, but somehow all of them.
Thank you, Shiparna, for doing this. Really means a lot to me and our UD Squad community. I know you've seen our videos, so you kind of know the drill. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited to have you and share your story.
Thank you so much. I am equally excited
Nice.
and glad to be here.
Awesome. Let's do a quick intro. Where are you right now? Where are you from in India? What did you do and what do you do right now?
Okay, so I'm right now in Chicago. I graduated in December from University of Illinois here at Chicago, and I am originally from Kolkata in India. I grew up there. I did my schooling completely from there, but I did my undergrad from Bangalore, Danan Sagar College. And then I worked for a year at JP Morgan Chase, and now I'm here. And after graduation, I joined Nordstrom for a couple of months, but now I'm moving to Microsoft and I'm moving next week
I
to
know,
Edmond.
so
So,
so exciting. Microsoft. Of course, we will talk about Microsoft, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna title yet because I typically wait for an entire interview and then figure out what the title is gonna be. But something
okay.
has to do something with Microsoft. But do you have Chase Bank account? Just curious.
Yes, just after leaving from there, and I came here and I opened my Chase Bank account, and it was, yeah, a bit surreal. It
I
was
know
nice.
because you mentioned that you worked for it. I was like, maybe she does
Yeah.
have Chase Bank because you know the behind the scene.
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. So everybody likes to know GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, whatever you gave, bachelor's. Like if you want to do quick scoring.
hmm Okay, so my GRE was 322, my TOEFL was 113, and so my college had percentage and it did not have a GPA, so
Yeah.
it's a bit weird process to convert it to GPA. So it was around, I think, 82% or something in my board, the university that I studied, but I think it would uh,
Something around like
relate to something like
3.5.
9 points.
Three.
Yeah, something like
Oh,
that.
9. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's
9.
it's a good percentage. 82 is a good percentage. Yeah. Cool. And did you so you yeah, you said and you had like a year of work experience, right?
Right. I worked for this year there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about colleges. I mean universities. Which universities did you apply and admits, rejects?
Okay. So I had this only one admit, UIC, and
Wow.
that was, I think I had a decent score and a decent profile,
Yeah.
but I was very confused with the college selections, and I took the help from Byju's, and I had a very bad experience with them.
Hmm.
And I was a bit ambitious in my university selection, but I think I should have gone a bit more into variety of different colleges, and I only selected like top schools like Stanford and
Oh.
UCLA and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So a
Hmm.
few top schools, and then I had this backup called UIC, and then I got this only one admit. But then I was happy with it because the course structure at UIC was very flexible, and it is completely like on your own. You don't have any fixed courses, so
Hmm.
it's all, the courses are flexible and you can select whatever things that you want to study. So that was nice, and I don't regret it now. I loved studying
Of
here. I
course,
love the subjects that I
you're gonna
studied,
be working at
so it
Microsoft,
turned out
so
well.
yeah. And what were you working at in JP Morgan? As like what was your
As a
role?
software engineer,
Okay,
software engineer,
and then the
and I did my master's in CS,
computer science. And
computer
are
science,
you
right?
going to be software engineer at Microsoft as well?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So, of course, you chose UIC because that's the only. How was your visa interview? Because you only had one university. What did they ask you?
It was pretty chill, I guess. Just 10 seconds or something, like
Okay.
not even 1 minute.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
very quick.
So,
I think it helps because I had one other visa before. I had traveled before, so if you have another
oh,
visa, I think it helps.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a myth I mean, your story actually kind of breaks two myths. One is like, if I have only one admit, will it impact
Yeah.
my F1 visa? You can, see the live example.
Yeah.
And then also people think that if they have visa before F1 visa, then
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna impact. So here's another story.
No,
So
my previous visa was B1, B2.
yeah, tourist
So
visa.
yeah,
Yeah.
tourist visa. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, for people think that if they've already had already a stamp on their passport for some other category visa, it might
Mm-hmm.
hamper their chances. But I don't think that's the
Right.
case. So
Nothing like that. It was not even evoked. It's still there, and I have both the visas active, so
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't have any
cool.
issue.
Okay, awesome. How was before USC? What's the like? Did you take loan for USC? Yeah, I mean you're
Yes,
not
I did
USC, UIC. Sorry.
UIC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I did take a loan. I took the loan from Prodigy Finance.
Okay. It's funny.
Yeah.
I did a podcast, I think just last one or one before that. They also did from Prodigy. Prodigy is doing a lot more loans now. How was the
Yeah, it
process
had
with
been a
them?
very good experience with Prodigy. I think for me, it was a lifesaver
Nice.
to me. Yeah.
And everything went well. Like, is the process everything is online, right?
Yes, everything is online. And the best part, I think, for Indian students is Indian banks, they don't give you without collateral, borrower or something.
Hmm.
So this one gives you without anything from your parents. So that was one thing that worked very well for me.
And what about the disbursement? I think is that how easy was that?
So that is a bit different from the other loans. So they send all the money directly to the university, and the rest of the amount after your tuition, you get it back in your US bank account. So only when you are here and you have already paid the fees and you have your US bank account, then only you get the money. So there
Hmm.
is a little bit of gap there that you need to finance yourself or pre-plan that part.
Right. But you don't have to worry about paying the fees like transfer, like the disbursement
Yeah, no
happen.
wire transfers and all that. So I think it was a
Good.
little hassle free compared to others.
Yeah. And I think also there's what I've heard is like you can get the code pretty much in 15 minutes or so when once you fill out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
even when I was just starting to look at it, I was like, okay, let me see what it is. I just search online. I put it, and in 2-3 days, I had the loan approved and everything sitting at home. So it was
Wow.
like very quick and easy. I really did not expect it, and I had no idea about it when I applied to it. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
I'll for people who don't know what we are talking about, I'll leave the link in the description if you want to check it out. But okay, so you did take the loan. Did you take for the entire fees or was it just part of it?
Uh, right. So it was covering most part of my fees, and I took only for my first semester, and then in my first semester, I got a graduate assistantship on campus,
Hmm.
and then it paid off for the rest of my graduation. So I did not take other semesters. Only one semester I had taken.
Okay, so this is very interesting. It's gonna get.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I didn't know this part. So okay,
Mm.
so how did you get the graduate assistantship, and what steps did you take to get there?
Right. So I was applying very aggressively from
As soon as
before
you
coming
landed,
here. I started applying.
before
Sorry?
coming, before coming,
Yeah,
or as
before coming.
oh wow, okay.
No, before coming only, I had already started emailing professors about TAs, RAs, and stuff like that. I was talking to other UIC students, some seniors who could help me out, but then it was not very clear when you're not here. So once you're here, it'll be the process gets clearer in your mind and you
Hmm.
know how to apply. But so it happened. So it was a very funny thing, I think, because on my con on the first day at the department, they suddenly told one professor came in and just told that there's some opening in a department called Acer and you guys might want to apply. But it was nowhere to be found online. And then I wrote an email to that Acer, which is a department for high performance computing clusters, supercomputers and stuff on campus. So I wrote them an email, and very funnily, now my friend and then my future colleague, he sent a reply that, okay, this is the last day of applications and you can send the resume. And I sent in the resume. I think they screened the resumes, they had interviews, and there was only one position open at the time. And I got into that position, and
Nice.
it started
And
paying
what
off.
was the interview like? What class were you? So what's the role of graduate assistantship? What do you do?
Right. So graduate assistantships are very varied. So it can be website development, it can be library administration, it can be anything on campus. So the one that I was doing was so something which is not coming under TA and RA, but it is good enough to pay for your like tuition waivers and everything that you get. So that is the term for the GA at UIC that we get.
Okay.
So there the role was for technical support for the high performance computing clusters or the supercomputers on campus for the research community. And
That's cool.
Yeah, the interview was pretty rigorous. I think it was 1 hour long interview. They asked me like from everything Linux and networks and all the lot of basics.
Even for GA position, they did grill you for like an hour, so that's cool.
Yeah, it was like 1 hour long, good interview. So
that's awesome. But it's helpful for students who are planning to go to UIC, apply.
Yeah.
A lot of them reaches out to me like, hey, how can I get TA, RA, GA positions?
Yeah.
And here's an example. Reach out, hustling hard. you hustled, you reached out to professors, and then of course, funny enough, you got in a position and you interviewed for it on your own merit. Of course, you crossed that interview, and that's awesome. So you got it. And did you say because of that GA position, your tuition fees were waived off?
Right. The tuition was waived, so very minimal amount that is called the differential you have to pay, and that you can save up from your salary as well after paying for your living cost.
Okay. So then what was your total expenses for your entire master's?
Net, if I would calculate, it's zero because I got the waiver from my first semester itself. So I didn't even require the loan, but I had already disbursed it, and it kept in hand. It was handy in supporting my education through the 1.5 years. But net, if I would say the things, it comes to almost zero. So.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, and it also covered your living cost and everything.
Yes.
Nice. So basically, whatever you start making from now, I mean, of course, you're you're gonna start your job. It's all going to go into your savings and things like that. You don't have to pay off any money. That's so cool. That is so cool.
So I just have that one semester loan that I had taken, and I just plan to pay it off in one go right now. Like this month, I'll probably pay it in one go.
Nice. Awesome. It must be such a great feeling to not have a loan. That's awesome.
Yes.
So cool. So cool. Okay, moving on to experience at UIC. What is it like studying at UIC? Tell us a little bit about UIC.
So it was studying at UIC during COVID because only the first sem I could go to campus. But from the second sem, a couple of months into my second semester, it was all lockdowns. It was all online.
And how are professors in UIC? Are they strict? Are they easy?
Both. So depends on the courses that you take. So some courses, I think first semester I was very ambitious and I took all the courses, which was very difficult. And then I started my GA position also, and my boss there, he was like, right, you have a GA now and you're taking 12 credits, that to all these subjects that you're talking about, like neural networks and artificial intelligence and computer vision, and I took all the difficult courses. So it was a bit difficult to manage sometimes, but then some courses are easier. Some courses are difficult, some courses are more enjoyable, some courses are less enjoyable, I
Hmm.
think. So it was a mix of everything, but you have a lot of choices. I think there's plenty of choice for you to choose the subjects from.
How many core courses do you have, and how many electives do you have?
Everything is elective. There's no core courses, no compulsory courses. So that's
What?
why I was saying it's like completely flexible. You can take whichever subjects that you want
That
from
is,
like
I've
all
never heard
the
this
pool of
before.
courses.
This is so interesting. Wow. Okay. And but you have to get it approved, right? If you take some random business course or something, do you have to get it approved?
Yeah, so if you are from not from computer science engineering, if it's some other department course, then you have to get it approved. You can take courses from business, psychology, and all that also, but then you have to get approvals for those.
Hmm.
But all the courses in CS, there's like no restrictions that, okay, these are the core courses that you have to complete. There's nothing like that. All the courses are open for you. You can
Okay.
choose
Whatever they
anything.
are offering, you pick whichever you want, and you have to complete 30 credits or whatever. How many credits was it? 30?
It was 36.
36. Okay. Nice. And did you
Yeah.
complete it in 2 years or? Uh,
3 semesters, 1.5 years.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
all semesters you did take 12 units.
12. That was the maximum number of credits that you can take in one sem.
Mm.
And usually people say that you shouldn't take it when you're doing a full like 20 hours job, but I was doing both. I was doing a 20-hour job and I took three
Was it
courses and completed it.
how did you manage it? Like, was it stressful or was it manageable?
It was stressful. The first time was very difficult, but then from the semester, I got a bit smarter about choosing the subjects. That you don't take all the heavy subjects, you take a couple of easy courses, and that's how you manage. But it was manageable, but it was also very challenging, I would say,
Mm.
because all that you have the job search, and with all of that you have
Mm.
the COVID.
Yes.
So it was challenging, but yeah,
But
sailed
you
through.
what's your tip so far, since you've been through this journey with taking heavy courses, also working 20 hours? What is your tip for students to manage time, and like how would you, like, what would you say?
Yeah, I think you need to be a bit smart about the courses you take and prioritize what is important to you. So at that point, my priority was getting a job. So I focused on that more, and I gave a little less importance to my courses, I would say. So
Mm.
sometimes you would have to choose that you cannot like ace all the courses and ace your job search and ace your
Sure.
work at
Yeah.
office, but office is your responsibility. You're getting paid for it, so you have to do it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And in the courses, I think I did compromise a little bit on my courses from the second sem onwards because I wanted to complete it in 1.5 years.
Hmm. Yeah. Why 1.5 years? Was there a reason, or just because you wanted to be done with studying?
No, there are reasons. Family. So
Hmm.
I did not have a lot of family support, and I wanted to support my family as soon as possible. So there
Hmm.
was some issues back home, and because of that, I want to complete it as soon as possible.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Assuming you did not have time for internship, or did you have internship?
I was working on campus at that time, and COVID hit, and so that's another story. I did finally do an internship in product management because after coming
I
here,
did
I
see
was
that. Yes.
completely
Yeah.
into product management and I wanted to get into that. So I think first for my internships, I did not apply to any software engineer roles. It was all product management roles that I was applying to.
Hmm.
I did an internship with a startup.
So then why did you make the transition from product management to software engineer?
Right. So I started applying to product. Even after that, I was completely focused on product. I did interview also for very good companies and very good positions. And most of the good companies that I interviewed for
When you
PM
say
roles,
good companies, what do you mean by good companies? Like Google,
like
Apple?
Yeah, Google, Apple,
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah. Yes, this is like, I love it.
No, I mean, I did get calls for those, but somehow all of them did not work out. I was like really close at the Google one,
Hmm.
and I was really
A-
targeting that
And
one.
this is all for product.
Right. It was all for product. I did not apply to software in any of these. And somewhere through GHC, somewhere through referrals. So it was a mix
What
of
is
all of
GHC?
them. Grace Hopper celebration.
Oh, right. That's what I also wanted to
Yeah.
talk about because you did attend that conference.
Right.
Okay, for a real quick in 30 seconds, if you have to explain what is that conference and would you recommend?
So you have these discussions and talks, some workshops, and you have the career fair. So all these things are part of the conference, and so I think they are great for information gathering, networking, and job search. So
Hmm,
all these three things, it really ticks the
yeah.
boxes for all of them.
Do you have to pay? I think you have to pay.
Yes, there are very selected few scholarships. I did not apply for the scholarships, but the internship that I did, they sponsored me. So um,
Hmm,
they sponsored me for the Grace Hopper conference. Otherwise, the tickets is I think $300
okay.
around.
And let's assume if students are not getting scholarship, should they invest? Do you think it's worth an investment?
Yes, it is definitely. So my Microsoft offer is through GHC. So it is definitely
Oh,
worth
got
it.
it. Okay.
Even my Nordstrom offer was through GHC. So both my job offers were finally through GHC. Although I
Okay.
did interview with the other channels as well, but then these, uh,
Okay. So obviously things didn't work out for product management, and so
yeah,
at some point you are like, okay, I have to switch. So was it just
right.
because you were not making it to the final like offer, and that's why you changed it, or you feel like I've, you want to change it?
No, so I just thought that so it was I think September, October, and I was registering through GHC. And that time I was like, there are more software positions through GHC compared to other roles. So the most number of roles will be through software in software development, basically. Um, and there are obviously more roles and openings in software compared to product, and product is very competitive, especially for the
Yeah.
freshers.
Yeah.
Uh, and I was graduating in December and I needed one job. So I was like, anyhow, I need one job before I get to choose that.
Yeah.
And then I started applying, and things happened that way that whatever the software positions, I cleared them in
And
one
it's like,
go. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
cleared them better
Mm,
compared, but then I was not preparing for the software roles for a long time now. For the last 1 year, I was completely into product, but then I prepared a little bit, but then it happened so that I could clear those rounds better.
yeah.
Nordstrom I cleared, the Microsoft one also I cleared.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, got it. By the way, so my dream role is also product manager. I would love to be
Oh,
product manager as well. I think I do a part of it in my current role. I play like multiple heads. I'm a manager of a software development team, and then I also do Scrum Master, and then I kind
hmm,
of play a little bit small role of product owner as well. So I
okay,
know
nice.
it's fun. I know why you want to go there, and I hope.
Yeah, and ultimately I think I took it as choice because in Microsoft I was interviewing for both the roles,
Mm,
PM and software, and I had cleared both the first rounds, but I was waiting for the second rounds for a long time. They did not have
mm,
slots open. The
mm.
software came along. I gave the interview. I was in line for the PM one, but then I just decided to go with this one instead of waiting for the other interview. I was waiting for the final round there, but
Yeah.
then it's okay.
I can tell you that you might be able to even, internally transfer it. Because I know there are
Yeah, probably.
friends of mine who are in Google, Amazon, they are like in data analyst but they move to product management side of role. So I think it's totally
Hmm.
possible over time when you start working, maybe you will be able to switch it, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's
Yeah. So what
there.
preparation did you do for software engineer role?
So I was preparing for some. I prepared for it in during my undergrad when I was hiring after my undergrad that time, and that really helped. So that was all through. cracking the coding interview, lead code coding, and I also followed that another book from Narsimha Karumachi. So that book also is nice. So I would
Hmm.
follow these three things primarily
Okay.
for software.
And based on the software engineer interviews you have done, what are some of the key things students should be prepare if they are in India right now or if they're studying right now for getting full-time job? Like, what are some things would you say that they should focus on learning?
Right. So I think doing the interviews, practicing, first of all, practicing the interviews is so important, especially for coding problems. It's not about the final solution that you come up with, but the approach and your thinking process. So I think even with my Microsoft interview, I was very worried after my first two interviews because I forgot a couple of syntaxes in those interviews, but I solved the problem basically, and my approach was correct and things like that. So in my another Microsoft interview, I did solve 3-4 other problems, which ran completely fine. So I think it helped. But then a lot of times, it's not about the small syntax or something and just lead coding, but it's about the approach of how you talk to the person and how you approach the problem
Can you
and concepts.
walk me through this thing? Like, what happens? So you get a in assuming an interview, you get a coding question.
Mhm.
What's your approach? Like, what do you mean by not focusing on the syntax and smaller error parts, but more on approach?
Right. So what I do with the problem is first I think about uh, what will be the input, what will be the output. So on a higher level, what is required? And I ask questions to see if I understand it well. That, okay, this is what I'm getting in, because a lot of times the question is not directly, they'll tell you this is the input, this is the output, or something
Yes.
like that. So you
Yes.
need to understand. So asking questions, I think this is the format is a bit similar to how we approach product management questions as well. So
Right.
you ask questions, clarifying questions, get the question right, you understand the problem well, and then you start approaching it with the most brute force solution. Okay, the first solution that comes to my mind is something like this, but I think this will be the efficiency of this problem if I do it this way, and if I use these other data structures. So explore that a bit, that okay, what are the options of data structures that I can use, what are the best possible solutions in time and space complexity that I can get. So I just run through those
Mm.
of first a little bit, and then I would be like, okay, I think this is a decent solution. Then I start explaining just the algorithm, that okay, this is the approach that I'm thinking of, and the interviewer might tell you that they will guide you that this sounds good, would you like to try it out and run the code? And sometimes they'll be like, okay, I do think we can do better with the complexity. So you brainstorm a little more, come up with more solutions.
Mm.
And so that is the concepts and everything that you need to know. And once you explore the problem from different dimensions and you get a proper solution that you can talk about first, and then you write the code at the end. And
Mm.
again, following good coding practices, modularizing the code and things like that, if you follow, then I think it overall process matters rather than getting that perfect solution in like 30 minutes in an
Right.
interview.
Right. Such a beautiful, like, I mean, you did an awesome job in explaining, because that's exactly what I was imagining. But now that you said it, I mean, it makes me happy that you explained it so well. I hope people focuses on, when you're interviewing, don't just focus on how are you going to code this and how are you going to come up with a solution, versus it's more
Mhm.
of, they want to know in real life you're going to have access to all the possible Google, Stack Overflow,
Right.
everything. But it's like how you try to solve the problem. Like, do you ask questions, do you understand the requirement,
Mhm.
and do you want to clear that like, if you don't, then do you ask questions to clarify that requirement? So that's what they're looking
Right.
for. That's awesome. How did Microsoft happen? I mean, of course, Nordstrom and Microsoft. So, how did Nordstrom happen? Like, what did you do? How did you get it?
So both those interviews I got through GHC
And when you
and
say got
Nordstrom.
through
Yeah.
GSC, what does that mean? Like, I know Gray
So
Software Conference,
yeah.
but go ahead.
Right, yeah. So there are different ways of applying to GHC. So some companies will have the job postings there, and you have to just submit your resume to the database. And a lot of companies reach out to you directly. Like Nordstrom reached out to me. I had never applied to Nordstrom by
So
myself.
GHC has its own portal. So when you register for
Yes,
that conference, you basically have your own account and you
yes,
you update your profile and all of that.
exactly.
Oh, got it.
Exactly. So
Okay.
they have their database where you can submit your resume for all the companies that are sponsoring or attending GHC. And then you have specific job postings from the companies as well. And
Hmm.
Microsoft does it a bit differently because they ask you the email ID that you use to register there. You use that same email ID to apply to the jobs on their portal.
Oh,
So that's how I think they would have some way of mapping that. But that's how it happens. Like there are different ways of applying, and a lot of companies hire quite a lot through this
okay.
from GHC.
And what's the so assuming you applied through GSC, you get in. Obviously, you become like a little higher priorities than people who are applying generally or like online application. What's the process of Microsoft? Like, is it just one round? Is it two round? Is it 5 rounds?
Yeah. So yeah, for the first part that you said, it's definitely so. I had applied to Microsoft with a referral before this, and I got rejected. But again, when I applied to GHC, I got the interview
Oh, how
with the same
funny!
resume.
That's
Even
so.
with Amazon, that's happened. I had already applied before that, and it did not. Sometimes it doesn't um, go to the recruiter or something. I don't know what happens in the background, but sometimes it doesn't get seen.
Hmm.
It's difficult to be seen through outside other channels than through these channels. So it's more visible. Maybe it makes you a little bit more visible.
Yeah.
So with the referral, it did not work out in Microsoft, but when I applied to this one, although my resume did change a little bit in
Hmm.
that 1 month, but yeah, that did happen with Amazon. Also, the same thing happened with the interview. And so for the interview rounds, I had my first telephone round back in October, which was a 1 hour telephonic. It was a video interview. And then I had 4 rounds and in February. So it was like a long gap and they did not have slots open. So in February, I had four face to face. So there was no online rounds, all 5 interviews, all face to face coding rounds.
Hmm. Okay. All coding.
Yeah, all of them were coding
Oh,
rounds.
wow.
They had a mix of behavioral questions, but they were all coding rounds
How
basically.
long were they? Like 2 hours?
Um,
That's
it
okay.
was, yeah, it was a 1 hour long, most interviews. Yeah.
1 hour long. Okay. But what kind of questions would they ask? Like examples?
Um, the first, I think one question that I remember quite a lot from one of the interviews was, uh, I think a lot of questions are from trees and graphs.
Mm.
So that is one of the concepts which I think Microsoft gives a lot of importance to. So, for example, traversing a tree in zigzag manner is one example of one
Mm.
question.
So you just have
Uh,
to write like an algorithm or like a pseudocode. How would you traverse a tree?
Yeah, so usually that's what they ask, that you need to write the code part only, because for trees and stuff like that, you don't have the starting and ending part of the code, everything set up, right? Because you
Yeah.
have to create a lot of different classes for that. So that's where I got stuck in that interview. I had coded the entire solution. I told him the solution. Then he was like, "Can you run it?" Because then to run it, I need to write all the other classes, which I was not very used to doing.
Yeah.
So that is where somewhere I got a bit stuck, and then I was very nervous that okay, this was so bad. I don't think I'll get it. But then eventually I understood that the syntax part doesn't matter so much as the
Mm.
rest of the part did.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So basically, the questions which are in lead code and thing, or like cracking the coding algorithm, those are like similar to those questions.
Yeah, similar to those questions, but I think just for the graphs and trees, I did not find a lot of problems in cracking the coding interview, and that's why I used that Narasimha Karamachi book. That is, I think, that has a lot of different variations of those
Okay.
trees and
Maybe
branch
I'll get the
problems.
link from you so I can put it so people can buy
Yeah,
it if they
sure.
want to. Okay, awesome. Of course, you got it. Congratulations. You're going to be starting very
Thank you.
soon. You're moving. And have you been
Yeah.
to Seattle before?
No, I have not.
Oh, are you excited?
Yes, I am excited. I think it'll be the cold, the winter will be less harsh than Chicago, so I'm
Yes,
just
but
happy about that.
the only part I am sad about is it's gonna be raining like 70% of the time.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's very cloudy, so that is something I'm not very happy about. I like the sun being out, and I need a little bit of sunlight, natural light.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think that is one thing.
yeah. Awesome. We're gonna switch this podcast to a different level. Think about this like if someone was asking you, uh,
Hmm.
someone who doesn't have a lot of money and they're planning to take, big loan. What's your recommendation? Should they take a loan? Is it worth coming to United States for their masters?
So I think definitely it's worth it because the return of investment is quite high in the US. Uh, and from a financial standpoint, I was someone who did not have any backup or anything else. It was completely my loan amount, and everything else was a bit risky.
Yeah.
So, but then you have to plan that even if you don't get any job on there and you have only the loan, how will you manage with that? And then you have to try for getting the jobs here and try to reduce your loan amount as much as possible, and then you have to get a job. And I've seen like everyone is able to pay off loans here in the United States. You will never hear that someone was, especially in software engineer. If you are my roommate, she's in mechanical and she keeps telling me about it, that how much more software engineers get paid. So I've not heard any software engineer who is not able to pay back their loans on time.
Yeah.
In 1 year, 2 years, definitely they'll be able to pay off. So it's definitely worth the risk.
Yeah, yeah. So the guy I interviewed last, he
Sorry.
it's all good. He also he also took a big loan for USC, but he was able to pay off in 2 months after he graduated. So same
Yeah.
software. He wasn't software engineer; he was a hardware application engineer. But
Okay.
I am with you that it's totally worth it. I know money part is sketchy, and in the beginning when you're looking at it, it's so big. How are you gonna have
Right.
built it? But I think you work hard, and I'm pretty sure you will be able to pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before we sign off, what's the one last tip which you want to give to students who are planning to come here or they're already here? What's the one tip would you say? Or like things, not necessarily one. You might have more than one.
Okay, so I think it's like keep hustling. So because uh, from outside it looks like a really cakewalk and a bed of
Mm,
roses. When you look at it, okay, this was also easy, but there's a lot of struggle once you're here.
yeah.
So be ready, mentally prepared for that. That okay, there will be struggles, and have your own support system, friends, family, the people that you can rely on, the people you can talk to. That is very important, to have your support system and work hard, keep working hard. And it's just a few years, and then you will be somewhere you really wanted to be. So
Nice.
keep hustling.
Awesome. This was so good. Thank you so much for doing this. Really means a lot to me, and I'm so glad. I'm pretty sure everybody's inspired. And of course, I'll leave your LinkedIn profile so people can reach out to you if they want to. And I'm sorry already. I'm saying ahead of time that you'll be spammed. So please don't spam
It's completely fine. I'm
her.
happy to talk to anyone who approaches me and help them out. So
Awesome. Thank you so much again. And until our next one.
keep smiling, keep hustling.
Awesome.
Was it the opposite way?
No,
Keep
I think
hustling.
that was good.
I
That was
think fine.
good.